press Alt and use the transformation distort command. You can still then adjust it a little bit, make sure that a little bit of the shadow is underneath the legs here. Maybe we're going to still shrink it a little bit together. Something like that, move it over. And that way, with the sun coming from here, we had put the body shadow already on the street. Now, of course, this doesn't look like a real shadow yet. It's still a little bit too sharply cut, and therefore we need some of our blur options in order to give it a little bit more of a shady character. So I'm going to my elephant layer of the shadow, and I'm going to the blur filters. Under the blur filters, we have the most common one that we always use in this case, which is the Gaussian blur. We activate that. Go to preview. Now, depending on the amount of blur I give it, you can see going up, it's going to start to blur it more and more. Of course, this is too much because it's becoming almost invisible. So I'm picking a kind of a relatively high pixel blur to get a little bit of the shape blurred, that the edges are a little bit smoother. And I go and confirm. However, still it looks a little bit not so shadowy like, and therefore we have one more option, which is a very handy tool, which are our layer modes. And one of the modes that we use here is the multiply options. If I click on multiply here now for the layer, oops, you can see, whoop, it takes the dark part of the layer pixels and blends them into the layer underneath. The multiply option always takes the dark elements of the layer that are existing there and blends them onto the layer underneath, which in this case is the layer of our picture and of our way. So having done that, we're almost basically done. I can still now with the opacity adjust this a little bit that it looks as natural as I want it to look. Something like that, okay. And that's basically it. Therefore, we created a natural, realistic looking shadow for the elephant that is being a montage that we put together out of two pictures. I hope everything is clear and you'll be able to reproduce it that way.